The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
14:20 in the morning, 14 minutes and 20 seconds worth of sports talk to get you through your daily commute. Hot takes, recaps, best bets, and a little humor to get your day going in the right direction. Sit back, grab your coffee, and let's get into it. All right, 14:20 in the morning for this, the last day of 2024, December 31st. It's New Year's Eve morning still here in 1420 World Headquarters, otherwise known as the Yankee Tavern North. Remember, today's show, as always, is brought to you by SeatGeek.com and the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420SEAT at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Thank you very much, SeatGeek. We'll get into that a little bit later. Thanks very much, SeatGeek, for being a longtime sponsor of the show. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all their great articles, and then follow the Belly Up Media Network for other great podcasts as well. A few changes coming up with them as well, and we'll get into that maybe next week in the new year. We'll get into that next week when all that gets finalized going forward with Belly Up Sports. So looking forward to continue that partnership as well. And thank you for all of those who have watched us and listened to us over the years. And Happy New Year to you. If I don't speak to you later on today or whatever it might be, we don't reach out and text or whatever it might be, social media. But Happy New Year to everybody who's been listening and following and tweeting and all that stuff. We'll get to some of you a little bit later on. But tonight, it's the big one, Canada, USA, World Junior, a little bit of tradition that's unlike any other, I guess. I just don't want to steal a Jim Nantz from the Masters line, but I'm going to. Hopefully this tradition keeps going and Canada goes out on a gets up going on a high note this tonight. This game has had a lot of tradition over the years, a lot of great games, a few stinkers. I remember the outdoor game that they tried to do in the snow in Buffalo. I think it was in 2016 that didn't really turn out so well for anybody, just with the weather and everything, how it kind of turned out. It was a game, outdoor games. I'm not a big outdoor game fan. They're doing that one later on this afternoon, which I find weird. They're doing it on the day before New Year's Day, but I guess the college football landscape overtakes that, so they're doing it today. I just find that kind of strange. It used to be a New Year's Day tradition, and now the NHL has opted to do it today. So programming discrepancies, I guess it might be. But Canada, U.S. gets going tonight. The World Junior Tournament has been quite entertaining so far. Cinderella stories, upsets, on and on it goes. It's been a very good tournament. I don't want to say it's been a great tournament, but a very good tournament. Canada has been a not so much so far. 2 wins, and then the overtime shootout loss to Latvia. A bit of a heartbreaker in that one. Bit of a stinker by Canada. We'll talk about that in about 45 seconds. I think we'll get to what happened there in my eyes. But then they played Germany the other day, a real lackluster effort, even though they got the win. I was quite concerned going into the third period. I got thinking, geez, Canada's only scored 3 goals in 5 periods versus Latvia and Germany. Usually they get 3 goals a period against those teams, but didn't turn out so great. And the Canadian team was lucky to come out against the Germans with the win. They had the early goal to go up 1-0. Then they got the lucky goal off the backboards, bounced in somehow, and then the empty netter. So for all intent and purpose, it was a 1-0 game against the Germans, and that probably won't do against the U.S. team, who's highly skilled, highly motivated to win this game. Shut up the Canadian crowd a little bit, probably do the like 2008, 2009, 2010, when the U.S. went up 3-0 early. I got a funny story to say about that one a little bit later on, but you just remember when the John Tavares show came on and how that all turned out for Team Canada. It's a great tradition. I'm glad that they found a way to figure it out. Like, obviously they can't plan the tournament ahead of time because the way the pools work, and so Canada can't play the U.S. every year, or Canada can't play Russia. We talked about that the other day. Well, Canada is not going to play Russia for the foreseeable future in international events, which I still think is a shame. If you haven't checked out that show, make sure you guys check that one out, because I had some very valid points that were a lot of people kind of agreed with me on that one, which doesn't happen very often. Must be the holiday season where people feel they can say, hey, you know what, no, that's not too bad, instead of just crapping on everything that a person says. But like I've said earlier, this tournament and this game on New Year's Eve, it kicks off the festivities. I know for me, like if their games are played in the East Coast, which they normally are. They've been in Ottawa a couple of times. They've been in Buffalo. They were in Vancouver a few years back. But in general, they try to get this game on at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Check your local listings. So it's a 5 o'clock start for here for me. Kind of gets things going a little bit for New Year's Eve. Have a few beers, watch the game, have some bites, have some food, go to a friend's house or go to a establishment, and then get the things rolling after the game is done. And hopefully you can. And it's not going to ruin my night either way. New Year's Eve is very special to my wife, so this game won't make a. Yes, so I want Canada to win, but it's not going to make or break my my smile tonight for New Year's Eve 2024 going into 2025. But you look forward to this game every year. You just remember a few years, the 08-09 U.S. jumped up to that early 3-0 lead, and John Tavares took over and made it 3-2 pretty quick after that. You remember the U.S. got a little more exuberant than they probably should have early in that game after the 3-0 lead, and a little bit of too much swagger, I guess you could say, a little bit of cockiness per se. What that happened in that one, and Canada blowing out the Americans. That one, I think it was 7-3 final. 05-06 Vancouver, the game was tied 2-2 late. The U.S. had to get a goal later on, so they pulled the goalie. I think it was, I can't remember who scored the winner. It doesn't much matter, but an empty net goal, so Canada win that one 3-2. I know people get a little bit, they were a little confused with that one going on. And then 09-010, obviously, going into 2010, Canada came back and won that one in a great fashion. Very exciting game. Actually, I'll tell that story right now before we get too far into this. Was in Las Vegas. I was dating a girl from Colorado, and the American Thanksgiving, the American U.S. game, New Year's Eve isn't really what it's all. It's not a big thing in the States. It's getting a little bit better now. But it was just funny to watch that one. We were supposed to go for dinner at the MGM Grand and have a few drinks and everything else. We were walking by this bar in Las Vegas, and I saw the game was on, and I thought, hey, maybe we'll watch a period or two and have a few laughs, and then we'll get to the reservations. And then the game got closer and closer and closer, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, well, guess we're missing a reservation, because I ended up, there was a people at this bar we were at in Vegas. I can't remember the name of the place, but there was people from Lethbridge there. So we got talking about it, blah, blah, blah. And we just obviously acquaintances that we knew of each other, and we ended up watching the game together. And Canada ended up beating the U.S. In a shootout. Eberle scored, and the rest is history in that one. But it was a lot of fun. The girlfriend at the time, she didn't understand the whole thing, and she was quite upset with me because obviously we missed her reservation. And needless to say, we aren't together anymore. And it was probably doomed from that point on that it wasn't going to end in marital bliss by any means. But you get to this game tonight with Canada. Got to say, I'm not overly impressed. Like I said earlier on, this whole thing about they haven't been scoring goals. Their power play's been lackluster. They've been taking a lot of dumb penalties. It has not been the Canadian hockey of days gone by. Maybe it's time that maybe I got to change, or Canadian hockey's got to change, and I don't think I'm going to change a whole bunch. So I was shocked the other night when this whole bumper thing came across, and I put it up on social media, and I got a few responses from some friends of mine that they're explaining what the bumper was, and I just figured, you know what, that's just the low guy. I just figured that's the low guy who takes a shot from here, and you move the D-man around, call her good, ha, blah, blah. I'm not going to bore the listeners and viewers about the intricacies of hockey here at 10:55 in the morning from the Yankee Tavern North. But it was kind of humorous to hear all these things and the bumper. And what really got me about this whole bumper thing, I've been saying bumper like this was kind of the funny thing, is I've been saying the word bumper a lot more than I have in 40 years. There was this kid, his nickname was Bumper, back in Fort McLeod. And that was that's the last time I used the name Bumper was probably in grade 5 or 6, I think. But now, or unless you're talking about the bumper on a vehicle, but this bumper position hockey, and I watch a lot of hockey. I'm not around rinks as much as I used to be, but I still go around the arenas. I still go watch junior hockey. I still talk to people in the game of hockey. But the other night when everybody was talking about, maybe I just didn't notice it, but the other night was the first time, and this is this isn't nothing. I'm not trying to make anything up for clickbait. That's the first time I have ever heard the word bumper be used in that term as many times as I had. Like Gordon Miller even said it. I've never heard Gordon Miller say bumper. I've never heard it. So if the Hockey Canada people were telling the cast and crew of characters to say something, that must have been it, because I've never heard Jeff O'Neill. Me and Jeff O'Neill, the O-Dog, we're the same vintage. I've never heard him say bumper, and I listen to Overdrive all the time. I've never heard the term bumper being used. So you know what? My advice to you, Hockey Canada, the hockey coaches, hockey this, whatever it is from this point on to, especially for tonight, maybe let's forget about bumpers. Let's forget about this. Let's forget about flank and shank and this and that. Get your high guy blasted on net, get a rebound, get a greasy one, and see what can happen. Forget about all this other crap. Forget about your edges. Forget about skating this, doing that. Forget about probable goal percentage. Forget about it all. Forget about it all. Have a Canadian game tonight like for the ages. I don't know if these kids are able to. I don't know if they don't even know what that means anymore. But have a Canadian game tonight and forget about bumpers. Just forget it. Go out, and if you're going to be a bumper, bump into somebody. Run somebody over. Do something different. Do something a little bit different. Because what you've been doing so far has not been working at all. Like, not even a little bit. You barely survived against the Germans the other day. You didn't survive against Latvia. Latvia's actually, they won a game. If Canada loses, Latvia finishes ahead of Canada. It could be bad news. It could be really bad news. There's a lot of different things can happen, because the U.S., they ended up losing the game to the Finns and then tied and a lot of. But it's if Canada loses tonight, they're going to finish behind Latvia, and maybe this bumper thing, we should maybe go with a different way of thinking. Don't worry about probable goal percentage. You know what? Every shot on goal is a probable goal. Put it on net. You never know what could happen. These outside, like they're passing. I think they're passing too much. I think they're trying for the fancy play too much. I think that like the dangle that that McKenna had the other night, it was warranted. Like he was in tight, and it was amazing he got that shot off. But they're trying to do too much, or they're being too damn fancy. Get back to what was successful for a lot of years for Team Canada. And I know hockey's different. I know it's not a violent sport anymore. I know it's not the same. It's not played the same way. And I know their kids don't have the personalities, and on it goes. You don't have the great big Canadian bruisers and everything else. But just tonight, give it a shot for the first 20 minutes. Maybe give it a shot. Dump and chase and go get it and crack a few heads. Do it clean. Hit them high, hit them hard. Do it clean. Do something different, because the American kids are built the same way as the Canadian kids are. But the American kids can skate a little bit better. The American kids have been playing with each other a little bit more, because they play that national junior development team. Go and do something different tonight, and don't worry about all the other noise and all the other crap that you've been taught in this non-competitive hockey world that we live in. I was right. I was right once again. This is a lot of times in a row that I've been right about this. The competitive spirit isn't there anymore. So now that Canada has a little bit of adversity, they haven't been able to handle it. These kids don't play with this anymore. They've never played for their community. They've never played for their country before. I shouldn't say never played. Someone playing the Helinka, the Gretzky, whatever it is. I'm sick of that guy. But you have a little bit of tenacity tonight. Do something different tonight. Because what you've done so far has not been impressive and has barely worked. You barely survived Germany. You didn't survive Latvia. You're going to have a hell of a time tonight against this U.S. team that needs this game. And they always have something to prove on New Year's Eve against Canada. They want to shut that crowd up in Ottawa, and the Ottawa crowd hasn't had a chance to go bananas yet. They have not had a chance to cheer a bunch of goals. They haven't had a chance for anything. Lackluster. And it's not the people of Ottawa's fault. They've wanted to get into this thing. They've wanted to cheer, to erupt. The people are ready to go. But one goal, basically, against the Germans, and then a lucky bouncer against the Germans. And then the empty netter doesn't exactly bring the crowd to its feet. Being on your having to sit on your hands because you're worried about Latvia. The Canadian team needs to come out tonight and do something that they probably aren't used to doing. And that's playing hockey like Darcy Tucker used to play back in 1995 at the World Juniors that I talked about the other day in Red Deer. They need to come out like like Choo Choo did, the Choo Choo train, like Jonathan Tutu did back in 1999 in Halifax. Do something that you haven't seen before, because you need to. Forget about the bumper. I don't want to hear one more thing after I get done recording this thing about the bumper tonight. They don't need to talk about that. It hasn't worked. And that Dave Cameron, show some emotion, man. He's awful. And he's an awful coach. He just hasn't done it. I sounded really Canadian when I said coach there, didn't I? But I don't understand how these teams, they just have the same thing, the same flow, the exact same kids on both sides. And you're going to see it more tonight. You're going to see a lot more tonight. I hope I'm wrong, because this should be a kickoff to the New Year's festivities. The tradition of this game, people love it in this country. People are picking up in the States, but they love it in this country. You sit around, you have your fondue, you do whatever you're doing. This Canadian team has a chance tonight to grab the Canadians by the heartstrings and run with something, because we're waiting for it. We want it to happen. Someone has to get their name be known today. Be a hero. Become a legend tonight. Do something that you thought of when you were a kid. You thought of. I'm sure when you first started playing hockey, as I did, as all kids did, when they start watching this tournament, you weren't worried about your edges. You weren't worried about probable goal percentage. You wanted to go and skate hard, score a goal, make the big save, do something special. All this other stuff that you hear about and you're taught, it doesn't matter. If you don't win, and there's a lot of pressure on these kids from Canada and Hockey Canada, and on it goes. But if you don't do something tonight, that's different. You aren't going to be remembered. And you have a chance. Not many kids get this chance. And you have a chance to do this tonight. Go out and do something special. Forget about the rest of it. Heaven forbid you might show some emotion. Heaven forbid you might show some personality. Just be different. Show something. Show something. Take a hit. Give a hit. Give a big hit. Punch someone in the face if they punch you. Don't be slashing and hacking and hiding behind everything else. Get a little bit snotty. Get a little bit greasy. Go score some goals. Put some shots on net. Drive the net. Do something different, because you haven't so far. It's been a disappointment. Team's 2-0-1. But it's a lucky 2-0-1. Haven't got the crowd to its feet. I couldn't name you 5 players so far. And I've been watching. Don't know many. Easton Cowan. Yeah. All right. The bonk kid in the bumper position. I don't know. This team's got to get better. The goalie's been good, obviously. But do something tonight. And this maybe it's the conditioning of these kids, and or maybe it's their hair products, or maybe the way they keep their hair, or whatever it is. But it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all to see a kid come off the ice with some sweat on his head. Like you actually played the damn game. They actually put some effort in with a little bit of grit and a little bit of snarl to your face. Maybe it's because they're not sweating booze out the day before like they were back in the 90s, I guess. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it just doesn't seem like they got that it factor right now. And it could happen tonight. It could take one big shift from somebody, from anybody, but they're all the same kid. Am I hoping something changes tonight, that somebody has a wake-up call and does something a bit different? Of course I am. Of course I am. I want to cheer and smile and high-five people at whatever establishment I might be at later on tonight. And remember that. A bunch of remember wins, because that's what this is about. The World Juniors is about remember wins for guys like me. I've been watching this tournament for 40 years. This was not memorable. Canada needs to do something tonight to make this memorable. And there's people waiting to do it. There's people waiting to see it. I don't know if it's people waiting to do it, but there's people waiting to see it. This country's ready to erupt. This tradition, New Year's Eve tradition with the U.S. and Canada has been going on for a long time. Tonight, there's got to be a Canadian kid who wants to be a difference maker. Because if not, they're going to get their asses handed to them. The Americans are just as, or if not more skilled. And a team that's hungry, with a team with something to prove, and a team that wants to shut the crowd up, which the Americans don't mind doing. They have that swagger. Always have, always will. Never deserve it. I shouldn't say never. Oftentimes not deserve it. But they have a shot tonight. They got to go out and crack some heads and do something different. Right in the opening face-off, get that crowd behind you, score a goal, dump and bump and dump and chase, go get it and score a goal. Get a greasy one. They don't ask how, they ask how many. Nobody cares where you're standing when you shot that puck. Get some Ryan Smith goals. Get those goals from within the first 3 feet of the crease. Nobody cares where you scored from. And there's this miss in the damn net all the time. Get it on net, get a rebound, get a whistle, whatever it might be. If you shoot it high off the glass, right on. Another Instagram shot. Boy, it sounded cool. You know what sounds cooler? When you got 18,000 people cheering because you just scored a goal. Plus, how many millions around the country? The second you score a goal, that sounds way cooler than shooting it off the damn glass. I understand the bottom of the net is covered now with the way goalies play the game, the size of goalies, everything else. But if you're firing at 6 feet over the net and just clanks off the glass, you look like an idiot. Hit the damn net. Quit being so precise. Goalies are good. I get it. But you shoot the puck harder than you ever have. This Canadian team needs to be a lot more aggressive tonight. They need to just forget about their lame-ass coach, and someone needs to be a leader on that team and go for it. One of these Saskatchewan kids, maybe he does it. It's maybe the captain goes out and does something. You just hope that it gets done tonight, and this Canadian team can show a little more emotion than ever before. Show some character, because it seems to me like you got a little adversity so far, and you didn't know what to do. You didn't know what to do because the first time in your life you probably had any. Ever. These teams want to beat you, but use that as motivation. They need to do something better tonight because it hasn't been good enough so far. And if they come out flat tonight, it's going to get ugly. And it's going to get ugly quick because the Americans will just keep rolling. Then they're ready to go. No one's scared of you anymore, Canada. Make them scared of you after tonight because it could be a real quick tournament. And then before you know it, it's over. You might have one more game after tonight. Really? One more. And what did you do? Nothing. Nothing. Didn't accomplish a damn thing. And there's pressure on this Canadian team. I get it. And a 50-year-old man in his basement, on the 31st of December 2024, probably won't get hurt by one of these kids. But I'm not the only one thinking this, and I'm not the only one hoping that Canada can go out and put together a game for this tournament because so far, lackluster. These kids don't show nearly the emotion. They don't. Said it before, and I'll say it again, but it's time to quit being negative. It's time to quit being negative. Have some fun tonight. Enjoy the hockey game. Watch a Canadian team. Watch this game. Have a good time and reminisce because it'll be on TV later on today. They'll be showing all the highlight reels of Canadian U.S. New Year's Eve games of the past. Canadian kid needs to come out and do something special tonight, right off the bat. There needs to be a John Tavares in the crowd. There needs to be an Eberle in the crowd. There needs to be a Jason Allison in the crowd. There has to be. Or else this team isn't going anywhere. They're not. Let's hope they can do something. Anyways, let's hope it's entertaining. Let's hope it's one for the ages. I didn't know where this is going. I kind of did, but I didn't. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Go Canada, go. Enjoy the game, everybody. Come take a little break here. Going to work from our friends over at Righteous Felon and talk about some things coming up in the new year. Go Canada, go. I don't have a lot of hope. I just haven't seen it. I just haven't seen it with my eyeballs. I haven't seen it. These kids are overthinking it. They're just overcoaching. And actually, what the heck's his name? Just went to God, it was on the tip of my tongue. He was in with the Kings, with the Sharks, with the Oilers. Now he got hired by Detroit this past week. McClellan. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The coach, when they were coaching, he's first to practice out with the Detroit Red Wings. They were just having a scrimmage, and he just saw how tight and wound up, and how the kids just do the same thing. This National Hockey League level, you guys been playing hockey your whole lives. Have some fun with it. And it seems like this Canadian team's not having fun with it. They're so tensed up, and they're so robotic, and they're so, I got to be here, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do that, and they're just not having fun. And that's one thing that I think it's got to get brought back into not just hockey, but all sports in general, that the kids have to start having a lot more fun because everything's do this, like your edges, your bumpers, it's overload. Get the puck, go down that way and score. And if someone gets in your way, run them over. Hockey's an easy game. 5-year-olds play it. It's very hard to play. I shouldn't downplay it. But the Canadian kids need to get there and play the game the right way tonight. Go back to the old Canadian way. Go back and run somebody over. Whether these kids can do it, I don't know. Whether that's even in their realm of thinking, I don't know. I have no idea. But go out and do it. Go out and do it, and like watch some. Like that might be a good motivating thing for the coach Cameron to do. Find some old World Junior videos of teams from the past who didn't mind running guys over. That shows the emotion of these teams. That shows the emotion of Canadian teams in the past. That shows the emotion of the crowds in Ottawa, in Saskatoon, and Red Deer, and Vancouver, and when it was in Halifax. That shows that these get the motivation out there. Get the montage together. That shows these kids, you know what? I could be a hero today. And it would be so cool to have that opportunity. It would be so cool to have that chance to be a hero in front of your country, in front of the world's biggest stage tonight, or Canada's biggest stage tonight. Because a lot of these kids aren't going to have this chance ever again. Where every hockey fan across the country, young and old. Apparently, my nephew Oliver, 3 months old. Apparently, he really likes hockey. He goes on TV and he watches it. And it shuts his yacht from crying or being a little bit antsy. So for Oliver at 3 months old, right to my mother. I'm not going to say her age right now, but it's right from there right on through. Every Canadian hockey fan who watched that game tonight, hoping that somebody does something a little bit different, hoping that somebody pulls through, hoping that somebody shows a little bit of emotion they haven't showed so far in this tournament. And I hope so too, because if not, they're going to get their teeth kicked in by the U.S. tonight. But Canada, those Canadian boys have a chance tonight to do something special. But if they don't come out swinging and don't come out flying and hitting and shooting and play some Canadian hockey, getting the puck in deep and just hitting the guy now and then, they're going to get their teeth kicked in. And it won't be pretty on home ice. And then some heads will roll on 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with sports talk and a whole lot more. No beers yet. It's only 11:13 in the morning here. I want to be able to survive till midnight tonight. So got a few hours where we start cracking this few cold ones and celebrating the great year that was 2024. Here's a little word from our sponsor over at Righteous Felon Jerky, proud sponsor Belly Up Sports. That's having some changes in the year. So let's listen into them. Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon Jerky. There it is, Righteous Felon Jerky. Use promo code BELLYUP at checkout for 15% off the best in craft jerky from Belly Up Sports. And the whole bit over there. A few changes coming there to Belly Up Sports. Can be a lot more active on their YouTube channel. They're trying a few different things to grow everybody's reach. So that's a good thing. So we're going to be hooking up with a lot more people on that media front, with that media network, doing different things, doing the last call show starting on Sunday. So that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of people in the podcast world, we're pretty tight knit group, which is good. Guys, you get between your own ears a little bit, and you don't know why your show isn't doing this. You don't know why your show isn't doing that, and everybody thinks that their show is great. And sometimes you have great ones, sometimes you don't have such great ones. You get a little bit down, but the podcast community, especially like the guys that I know, we're all very tight, and we all cheer each other on. Because like Jim from the Fan in the Van, I listened to his show again yesterday. I always get a chance to listen to Jim, but he's thinking, it gets tough at times, and you don't know why you do it. But then you have a little pat in the back, and this is pretty cool how things have grown, and the amount of people that do listen to you on a daily basis without a lot of support. I guess is what I'm looking for. You have support of your friends and family, but only your friends and family can listen so much. So, but they keep you going forward, and you get the people from the podcast world that really help you out as well by saying, you're doing a good job, and they come on your show or you go on theirs, and it just kind of gives you that little bit of a boost you need. And it's always it's always a good thing, because there's times you don't know if you're just spitting these words out into the abyss. So New Year's Eve, on New Year's Eve, you really want to thank people for what they've helped you try to accomplish in the last year, and then what you're trying to accomplish in the years to come. I don't know what the heck we're trying to accomplish, but is this gonna be a full-time job again? I don't know, but it's just one of those things. This year was a different one for me. Obviously, I picked up that job with the Lethbridge Bulls WCBL here in Lethbridge, so we got to be involved in the I'm a sports executive now, so that's a lot of fun. So you get to get involved in that. Plus this podcast. So sports is basically my entire life, and obviously I want to thank my wife Deanne for everything, the support that she gives me on a daily basis to push me down and do this even times when I don't really feel like it anymore and I don't want to do it. She gives me a kick in the bum, because like I said, a pat in the back is only 3 feet and a kick in the ass. So she gets there and says, "Thank you very much, Deanne. I love you for all you've done for me to get this thing moving in this direction." So it's been a lot of fun. 1420 Sports Bar, the 1420 Sports Bar, the website, getting that back up and running, different articles. I'm getting up there looking for some writers to help out with that. Belly Up, we're still with them, going to get, like I said, some different things in the new year to promote that brand, different sponsorships and things. So look, excited about that as well. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The Bullhorn, it's on, like I'm on different TV networks now, different on Rogers here in Alberta, because I was even on in Medicine Hat the other day. I didn't watch because I didn't need to watch because I was part of it, but I saw that I was on Rogers TV and Medicine Hat, so that was kind of neat too. So just the journey that it's come through, the different rants and different raves that I might have on a daily basis, that from here at World Headquarters. And I thank everybody who does listen on a daily basis to this stupid old guy. Every once in a while, he has something to say, and so without you guys listening, I wouldn't be doing it. So I'd be talking like I normally do, talking to myself and everything else. But we want to thank everybody for being part of the show. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure you go and do that, because it just helps with things. And then like and share and all that stuff, because it's a lot of fun what we get to do. Yeah, it's been a great year. Might get along with Aaron later on today from Brutally Honest Sports, but you get to do some highlights and lowlights of the world in sports. I talked about it the other day. I was going to. I sounded really Canadian there again, but it's obviously I'm a Yankees fan. As you guys watching on YouTube, you can see behind me, I got all that this Yankee crap behind me, and the Yankee Christmas tree is still up until after Orthodox or Ukrainian Christmas. But it's kind of an odd year how the highlight and the low light of the sports world are quite funny. You look at obviously like a highlight for me was the Yankees going to the World Series, but I didn't have the chance to really celebrate it very much. I was not that I couldn't, but I just didn't. There's certain time and a certain place for things, right? And so yeah, I was at my father-in-law's birthday, and we went and going to a steakhouse, and yeah, I didn't get to, like when Soto hit that home run to send the Yankees to the World Series, to go ahead in the ninth, and I didn't get a chance to celebrate that one very much. And so it was a bittersweet moment. And then the Yankees obviously lost in that World Series. That Game 5 was. It's funny how the world of sports can do that to you. Like you have such high hopes for your team, and then it just gets crashed down. And that's why you should use it as entertainment and not take it too seriously, because the highs are highs and the lows are lows, and they come really quick. But it's fun to be a part of it. It's fun to take that back seat sometimes. Just watch the games and do it. You remember that Oilers run when they went to the Stanley Cup Finals? They ended up losing in Game 7, coming back from 3-0, and the different habits you get into as a sports fan. You remember that we watched, started going to Boston Pizza over here on the west side of Lethbridge, and they won, so you go again. They won, so you go again. They won, so you go again. And the different tradition, different people you talk to, we end up having the same seats next to these people at Boston Pizza, and it's almost like we became a family for a week and a half. And that's what sports is supposed to do. It's supposed to bring people together, not push them apart. And it's supposed to be a lot of fun. And it's supposed to be just for entertainment purposes. And people who take it a little bit too seriously don't. Because before you know it, the season's over and you're ramping it up for another one. So it's no point in getting too revved up about it. It's just sports and it's just entertainment. Cheer like crazy when it's on. Be a little bit pissed off when it's my first swear word, if that's even a swear word, at 11:20 in the morning. But you get a chance to cheer your team on before you know it, it's over, and then you go back to work and get back to rally the next day. Like I've said before on this show, I used to be a real sore loser when I was a kid, when I participated in sports, and you look back and you go, for what? Why? It's just for fun. And that's what sports is. And that's what these podcasts, and that's the 1420 podcast is supposed to be about as well. It's just for fun. And so make sure you take advantage of that and then just watch it and don't take it too seriously. No one cares about your fantasy pool. Nobody cares about your fantasy team. Nobody cares about your parlay. If you do it, good. But just enjoy it, and that's what this podcast. I hope in the 2025 and beyond. I hope we continue to do that because I think that's where we're at with our show. It's just it's for fun. 4 beer sports talk and a whole lot more. You have 4 beers in it. It's usually the lips get a little bit looser and it's a lot more fun. We're not gonna bore you with stats here. We're not gonna bore you with analytics here. We're not gonna talk about stuff that the defensive formations. We talked about bumpers a little bit today. I'm still not exactly sure why they needed to give it a name in the world of hockey, but they did, and it's so weird. It's just so weird. But it's there's my little thank you to everybody and for the who've been watching the show for 4.5 years now. We got a lot more good times ahead, and a lot more smiles and laughs, and hopefully higher heights as well, because we have a pretty good thing going here, and not everybody gets this chance like I do to talk about sports as much as I do, with people listening for once, actually, because I used to talk a lot. But it's thanks to all the other podcasters who've been on their show, who came on my show, especially Jim, fan of the van. Always enjoy listening to Jim and his unique ways. Thank you very much, Jim, for coming on moments notice time. Aaron's been a regular guy on our show from Brutally Honest Sports, a lot younger than me, and he got that youthful exuberance still. So thanks to him. Thanks to the guys at Belly Up. Vince Stober, I've been on his show. He's been on our show for the Belly Up Super Show baseball one. Ryan McCarty, Dustin over at No Credentials Acquired. Thanks to the guys over at all the guys over at why can't I think with my head right now? All the guys over at the Corner Booth podcast. I got it without having to look it up. And the guys over at Craft Brewed Sports, we haven't been able to hook up, but I love listening to their show all the time. And then different podcasts who have been on the show. It's been a great year. A lot more coming up in 2025. But I want to thank everybody once again from the bottom of my heart for all your support to the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. 4 Beer Sports talking a whole lot more. Check out the website. New merch coming out in the new year. Go out with some style and get to help support the show. Talk to people about the show. Let them know if you like it. Great. If you like us, great. If you don't, that's great too. Let me know. Let us know. Email us 1420sports@gmail.com. Reach out on social media. Send us a note, whatever you do. If you like the show, great. If you love the show, even better. Tell people that they should watch it and listen as well, because we think we bring a pretty good brand of entertainment. Got some new other ideas coming up in the new year, but we're going to come at you high and hard, like how Canada does tonight. Enjoy the game tonight, everybody. Go Canada, go. I hope it's one for the ages. I hope the right team wins. There it was, 14:20 in the morning. 4 coffee with sports talking a whole lot more. Thank you very much, everybody who listened today. Go back, listen to some shows in the past. Get the downloads up. Learn something. You might learn something. You might enjoy it. On and on it goes. Happy New Year. And remember, it doesn't matter where you are. It's who you're with. Have a great day, folks. We'll talk to you on New Year's Day. You just listened to the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. 4 Beer with Sports talking a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Let's get into it.